Welcome to your first ever dose of tech talk, your first go-to show where we talk everything about technology and ICT. And I'm bringing you great guests with me. And first up is Miss Zandile Silo from Propeller Business Incubator. Miss Zandile, welcome to the show.
Thank you
I'm
for
doing
having
good.
me.
Awesome. Before we dive in to the conversation here to Namhlanje, please tell us who is Uzandile and what are you doing at Propeller Business Incubator?
Okay, so Uzandile Silo, I'm speaking, and I'm from Propeller Business Incubator. I'm the lead marketing and communications coordinator at Propeller. Propeller is an ICT and industrial incubation hub for young innovators who want to upskill themselves. Yes.
Well, now let's dive into our conversation. Please tell us what are the main roles of Propeller Business Incubator?
So primarily, Propeller is a incubation hub that provides quite a significant entrepreneurial experience within the Nelson Mandela Bay and also within the country as well, because we are national as well. So primarily, we incubate small businesses or ideas within the ICT and industrial sector. We provide them with support, business development support, marketing support, and also the tech element support that is needed. In a nutshell, that is what Propeller does. Yes.
That's fantastic, Sandy. How do you see Propeller contributing to the ICT sector per se?
So one of our key, or many of our key focus areas within the ICT space, it is supporting smart city solutions, whether it is smart mobility, smart energy, smart buildings. So we are trying to get to young people to come up with new innovative ideas within these spaces, and also through collaboration with other businesses as well that can help us support these young entrepreneurs within the tech space, basically. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. What do you think, now that you mentioned collaborations, what do you think those collaborations with the other organizations within the industry would help the local businesses around?
Oh, definitely with new innovation, because some of these organizations, they do have capacity in terms of funding.
Yes.
They do have capacity in terms of funding. So the minute that they support through collaboration, that Hi Propeller, we want to endorse 50 young people to come up with a tech element that can kind of sort of help us make us the city of Ekabeja to be a more productive and smart city. That's where those collaborations. So we've collaborated in the past with your Telkom Changemakers, your BCXs, the Nelson Mandela University. We've also collaborated with your ELIDZs that helps us to kind of sort of run some of these innovative programs.
Lovely.
Yes.
And what are the emerging trends in the ICT that we will say Propeller, are they more relevant to Propeller? Any emerging trends in the ICT sector?
Yes, definitely, especially within the ICT space now, and actually in the industrial space, the AI, right? AI is such a phenomenal now that is trending, and I think that it can prolong it like for many more years. That can kind of sort of help, especially with young entrepreneurs who are not really too tech savvy, but want to be in the tech space. It helps. AI helps a lot, and also we have jumped on the wagon of AI, where we've collaborated with one of our past incubatees, Batsamaye, with workshops that kind of sort of aids an educational tool to talk about what AI is all about and what other quite great significant contributions that AI can do in business development. Yes, so definitely AI.
Now that you're mentioning AI, we know now these days most of organizations that fund businesses or rather support businesses as well, they have now gone to a phase of emerging now from using paperwork into digital. Are you guys in that level yet, or are you still working on that?
We definitely are trying in terms of, because we are also in ICT and tech
Yes.
supporters. So we definitely, we have a current cohort right now that's the ICT Rapid Acceleration Program that they're coming up with everything tech. They
Yes.
they have apps, software developers that coming up with great ideas. So you'll see less of paper-based within our offices as well, and also how we are trying to make everything so virtual and accessible, because I believe that it's a tech space that we're in. So the more that we have access to digital platforms and digital materials, more functionality can sort of emerge within those spaces. Yes.
That's very insightful. Now, for someone who's at home, for someone from the local township, Emadaweli or Mdantsane, or from anywhere, who just finished school but wants to venture into business, what do you say to that person? He knows nothing. He wants to venture to business.
Definitely do more of a bit of research, a bit of
Yeah.
reading in terms of what you do want to venture into.
Yes.
Nice thing about the tech space is that you can be a coder, you can be a self-taught,
Yes.
just to do a bit of coding on YouTube and whatnot, especially within the tech space. I'm not diminishing the coders out there, but you can always learn a particular skill and build something that you can make money for you. That is the sustainability element that we always try to encourage, is that what can make an income for yourself. So definitely ponder on that idea and execute on that idea. Also visit Propeller on our
Most definitely.
on our social media pages. We do have a lot of exciting programs and exciting workshops that are available to an everyday person who's not too tech savvy but has an interest within the tech space. Yeah.
Very, very insightful there, Zandi. Thank you very much. We still gonna come back now with more insightful conversation with Zandile and our guest here in the studio. So now we're gonna go to the ad break and we're coming back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Tech Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed our first segment right there. Now we're diving into our next guest, Mr. Gwija from Victoria Park. Hi, Mr. Gwija, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bantu, for having me.
Thank you so much. Before we dive into, please introduce yourself.
Dingusivenati Gwija. I teach IT and also computer applications technology at Victoria Park High School. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Gwija, how do you incorporate your IT education into your students as a teacher?
Well, you basically break it down for the learners in such a way that they can now understand the topics better and also give them real life examples that can, in a way, get them to understand what you are teaching them.
When you say understand, I know when you're teaching students are just your normal students. Yes. How do you engage with them to actually make sure that they actually understand the concept and the content of the subject?
Yeah. So because the subject is two-part, it has a theoretic part to it and also a practical part. So you do one-on-ones, should time allow.
Yes.
For you to basically explain it better for the learner, get them to do activities as well, get them to have a feel of the software as well, because of the practicality, they need to have the software in class and also outside of the classroom.
All right. And how do you see the role of technology evolving in the education sector?
Well, at our school, it really is evolving. We are trying by all means to be carbon neutral in the manner in which the electricity is used. We now have solar panels inside the classrooms. We try by all means to also not print paper, but rather use our way of disseminating our textbooks, which is a different application instead of having booklets. I'm sure you might know in our school we do teach using tablets. So instead of having textbooks, we now use technology throughout.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what are the other challenges that you are facing, for instance, like in resources wise? What support do you like need there?
At our school, the support we need for parents to pay school fees.
Oh, yes.
That's the major one.
That's right.
Yeah. But apart from that, we have teams at our school, or also systems in place
Yes.
that are there to basically help and also sustain what we currently have there at school. We do TUDs, which are tutorials,
Yes.
for the learners to basically, in addition to what is done in the classroom, to consolidate what they've learned.
Yes.
Apart from that, we do give them resource centers where they can go and basically view videos on YouTube or use different platforms that they can learn from as well.
All right. What are the specific IT-related projects that we have implemented in the school currently you're busy with?
Right now, I'm overhauling the society that we have there, which is robotics and coding. We want to introduce a lot of the things that you see in today's ICT proceedings that are taking place. We want to bring about 3D printing, because that is something that we think all schools should actually invest into. And we also have a robotics club and coding where we basically do some projects. One that I want to do is basically a point of sale system with the learners so that they can understand how those systems works. And then another one is a medical document. It's linked to a project I've done years ago, but it's basically how doctors can actually update your profile as you do visits to them.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's quite very interesting.
Yeah.
And now, how do you encourage students to explore careers in the ICT sector?
Well, we do that in many ways. One is linked to our open day.
Okay.
So in our open days, we do get a lot of institutions to come and present what they are doing there as well. So we get your universities visiting and then doing some you would say promos on what they have at their institutions.
Yes.
And then we also do something linked to now our syllabus, which is a PAT.
Yes.
So the PAT is where you will now showcase some of your learned skills, where you will now write code and create software yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways that we do that in.
All right. And finally, what advice do you have for other educators and other institutions who are also, or rather, would like to venture as well into the IT subject in their schools? What advice would you give to them?
Well, as we are venturing into the fourth industrial revolution, schools in your locations or Ekasi and such places need to also venture into having these subjects in their schools. When I was still looking for employment, I saw that many of them do not. And whenever people are employing, those are some of the skills that are needed for you to get such employment. So I would say people need to venture and actually invest into having such subjects in their schools. That's one. The other one, don't, how can I put it, be a gatekeeper. And some do get investment coming in forms of sponsorships where they receive computers, but you have many schools that do not open the opportunity for having these subjects and using those facilities. So you get people that keep them locked up and then eventually break-ins happen and then all those resources are stolen. So use them once you have them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Mr. Kwisha, thank you very much for your time and thank you so much for joining us in the show.
Thank you as well, Bantu, for having me.
Thank you. Okay. Awesome. That was Mr. Kwisha from Victoria Park High giving us some insights there, IT and ICT related subject. And welcome back to Tech Talk. We hope you enjoyed our previous conversations that we had there with our esteemed Yes, guys, welcome back to the studio.
Having us.
Awesome. Now, as young people in the ICT space, how do you see our future as young people?
I think there's a great opportunity for innovation and new ideas coming to space. I think that as young people, we're the carrier of the new and the beginning most of the time. So
Yes.
the more that we within this space and encourage these developments to kind of sort of continue happening and merging innovation and technology together, future 2030 or 2040, we'd be quite well equipped with skills.
Yes.
We'll probably kind of sort of competing with the new technology as well that is coming together because we are continue upskilling ourselves. So yeah.
Yes. And you, Mr. Kitcha?
What I could say is this. I will speak from education.
Yes.
In education, you see a lot of kids having opportunities to see things, right?
Yes.
To get an experience that incites what they will venture into
Yes.
going forward. So in our school, we do a lot of programs. We get the kids to be part of societies, and they run those societies themselves.
Yes.
You get them to do reports and all sorts of things. So in the future, I think we're still up there in terms of having new and also innovation coming about.
Yes.
So that, I would say, is something that you can see coming through.
All right. Do you think young people are supported enough to execute all these innovations and ideas that they have?
I think there's a great platform and opportunities for that. There are these programs. Maybe they're not as aggressive as some of the challenges that are already existing in our societies.
Yes.
But I do think that the platforms are there, the programs are there. But I was just now getting that interest back to the young people that get into this. This is what is available for you. I think there definitely is an opportunity and a platform for young people to hop on. As mentioned, that there's different high schools, e-high schools that have
Yes.
these programs. But now it's now people who are equipped with this knowledge of get into it. That's the driving force that that we need to be as aggressive as we can possibly be.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned in our previous conversations a lot of collaboration. Do you think is there enough collaboration between the private sector and the public sector?
Yes, that does happen. Where you find a school will collaborate with a different entity. In our school, we've had conversations with Inspire Africa,
Yes.
who are pushing STEAM subjects, right? Basically to start something between our school and
Yes.
them. So I think that does happen, but maybe we don't see a lot of it happening.
Yes.
But it does happen.
All right.
And maybe to just also add on is that sometimes we have to kind of sort of be approach these companies because these companies
Yes.
they do have the budget for some to support entrepreneurship or support innovation, but it's just a matter of they don't know where to go when it comes to this. Now we
Yes.
coming in and
Yes.
say, okay, this is what we can do with your money, right? This is what we can do with your money, and it can go for a long run. We've collaborated with BASA, it's Business Arts South Africa. They support creatives, and they're like, okay, there's a creative opportunity here. How can we get the creatives to be entrepreneurs? Now that's the merge of it. So
Yeah.
definitely, the private sector has the budget, but it's just a matter of what is going to be happening with the programs that you come up with.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned about supporting local businesses. Now I'm going to Propeller. What exactly does Propeller do to actually identify these businesses that actually need support?
So we do a lot of screening. So when
Yeah.
previously Propeller, the idea was that just come with your idea, how raw it is, how unfiltered and how structured it is,
Yes.
come with it. But now we have become a bit more structured in terms of make sure that your idea is a little bit solidified in terms of what the future of that idea could possibly bring. So we do that the gap analysis of it, like
Yes.
what the idea would be feeding into the market
Yes.
and what skills would be allocated with it. So we support in terms of business development, right?
Yes.
Because as much as the technical skills that you might have, but also you don't have the business knowledge or the business support that you need. So definitely business development. We also the tech support as well, or the expert technical literal support that you need. That's what we also available for. We provide mentoring because we know that you're an entrepreneur, first time entrepreneur.
Yes.
You don't know where to go. That's the mentoring, and we provide a lot of workshop master classes that we teach you the basics of how running your business, your compliances, and also introduce you to the market. How do you do that? And our marketing team does that. We do the full on your marketing support, your consultations, what branding would you need, and how do you introduce yourself to a potential client, how
Yes.
to pitch your business. So that's the overall support that we provide for entrepreneurs.
Wow. And Mr. Kucha, what are you looking for now in the ICT space in terms now of developing your students and your school as well?
As I've said earlier, with the overhauling of our
Yes.
society, we bring about 3D printing. So we are going to do some acquisitions
Nice.
in terms of the machinery, getting them in and also housed in a great facility.
Yes.
So that's one. The other one is getting more projects that the kids are meant
Yes.
to be doing, get them to do things that they might do outside of school as well.
Yes.
Get them to create websites, get them to do a lot of things, maybe things that are not necessarily linked to our syllabus, but get them to do things that might incite them for the future as well.
Lovely, guys. What skills do you think are more essential for entrepreneurs who want to venture into the ICT space?
Computer skills,
Yes,
I would say. Be able to work with Excel spreadsheets for when you have to do your tallying of purchases that you've done or your sales. Be able to use AI facilities as well, because the prompt is all that is important as you basically work on a platform such as maybe your ChatGPT.
Yes.
It all stems from the prompt. So if you are vague, you will get a vague answer. But if you are very, I would say, specific,
Yeah.
it will give you a very specific answer.
Oh, guys, very insightful points right there. That's a wrap of today's episode of Tech Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us again next time with more exciting discussion on what's happening on the world of technology. Goodbye.